Yes, is with Do the Right Thing and many other Spike Lee movies, do you think it's also a huge achievement for black cinema, but for Italian Americans in cinema to be that Spike portrays them as more than just thugs and gangsters, which most celebrated Italian American directors always do? Do you think that it could be more of an achievement, just as well as an achievement as Italian Americans in his movies, especially with Do the Right Thing, with the history of the pizza shop and the pride in Danny Aiello's place and his character?
Also Jungle Fever. He had Anthony Quinn, man, playing an Italian, right? That's I was like so amazed to see Anthony Quinn now working with Spike, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think Spike speaks for a lot of different ethnic groups. Just like the thing in, he showed how ridiculous it was in Do the Right Thing with the little montage there, where everybody was cussing everybody out, and that says a lot in like what 2 minutes. Look at what all it says, you know.
The only actor I think who's worked with Spike more than I have is John Turturro.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. Italian, from Queens. Lives in Brooklyn now. But that's where Spike grew up. You know, he grew up in that Brooklyn. You know, and so it's natural that I think he would come to that.
We're like honorary Brooklyn Knights forever, too. we can walk anywhere in Brooklyn safely. That's real.
And I think that there have been a lot more Italians in Spike Lee films than there have been black people in Martin Scorsese films.
Oh.
Hey, absolutely. I mean, Martin is coming up way slow. I mean, that black guy in the Gangs of New York, what was that all about?
Dancing, the guy was dancing.
No, he was hanging out with the star, and then he gets killed during the riots. You know, but he never had any lines. It was a great job. He was in Rome filming for weeks and weeks, but God, it was non-existent.
Well, speaking of that movie, I don't know, I'm just voicing an opinion about that. I mean, I'm a historian myself, and I like to research things. And like before they even made that movie, Gangs of New York, I just think that Scorsese was real particular about some of the things. I mean, like some of the atrocities that were committed during those riots.
He tiptoed around it.
Yes, he tiptoed way around it, like the orphanage of little black girls that was burned to the ground, that was headed by just nuns. And they barricaded themselves in there because they wanted to just reach in there and grab all of these little black kids. And all this because they didn't want to serve in the Civil War. You know, I mean, like, I think that was very, very convenient of him to dance around that. I mean, that's such a biting issue that he didn't put in there. I thought it was just reprehensible.
Although if you want to hire me, Martin, we can change all that. You know?
I think most people who are August Wilson fans know the story about August Wilson insisting on having a black director to do Fences. And as you all were talking about the importance of working with Spike Lee, I wanted to know what you thought. Why is a black director so important? And I remember at one point in time, he and Spike were planning something, and I don't know why it didn't end up panning out. But more importantly, just why is it so important why is a black director so important, especially when you're telling a story about black people? And what is it like, I suppose, for a black actor to work with a black director? What do they give you that, you know, somebody else might not?
A job. If it weren't for black directors, I wouldn't have a resume. Sir Ridley Scott is the only prominent non-black director with whom I've had the pleasure of working. And Ridley was beautiful. We went over to Thailand and did American Gangster. But if it weren't for John Singleton and Spike Lee and Julie Dash and Casey Lemons and Mr. Bill Duke, I would hardly have a resume. Who I am is recognized and embraced by black directors. I go before other people and they just get confused. So, in a very personal sense, that's what it means to me. But Martin, I am available.
We're going to change all that.
He's going to make another good movie one day, isn't he? It's been a while, Martin.
Gangs
Just to
of
add
Pittsburgh.
on to that, I remember reading an article about Spike Lee being upset that the Muhammad Ali movie with Will Smith was directed by Michael Mann. After that movie came out, have you seen that movie? And if you have, can you describe maybe how that can be seen, like the story came across as maybe from a white director, and how it might have been changed differently if it was a black director? And also, what was it like being with Flavor Flav? If you could do that one later. What was he like in person?
Oh, come on, man.
You're going to go from Michael Mann to Flavor Flav?
Yeah, boy.
What you see is what you get, man.
I got a question.
Let me answer this
I know
one.
Michael Mann first. We know the Michael Ali and.
I'm not going to talk about Michael Mann, but I'm going to talk about Howard Bingham,
Okay.
who is a fantastic and great friend of Muhammad Ali. He's a fantastic photographer who was played by Jeffrey Wright in Ali in a very kind of small kind of cameo way. He has documented Ali in a way that nobody else could possibly document him. And if you ever get a chance to look at Mr. Bingham's photographs of Ali, I think that you would get a really strong glimpse inside of the man and his world. That only a particular sensitivity and a particular brilliance could afford us. So that's my answer to that question. In terms of Flavor Flav, he's really good friends with Bill. And so
Flavor Flav. First time I met Flav, he had a watch, a clock like this big, man, you know. He says, "You're clocking, man."
well, I think it's the brilliance of Public Enemy that.
Flavor
You
Flav,
have-
you know, is the...
Go ahead, brother.
Flavor Flav is really in the top two, probably most respected hip-hop artists among hip-hop artists. You ask anybody who they dig, who they respect, Flavor Flav, Big Daddy Kane are like the top two among hip-hop guys. So that says something right there, too. You know? They lived it, man.
And the counterpoint of Chuck D and Flavor Flav
I mean,
is just
it's
brilliant.
just brilliant, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he made that group more acceptable, you know. Plus, I just love his, I love him. I love what he does, you know what I mean? It's incredible.